The sun was sinking low behind the mountains, painting the sky in orange and bruised purple, when my parents' car came to a slow stop on the side of Highway 16. We'd just left a gas station 30 miles back, and I thought maybe something was wrong with the engine. I was wrong. Something was wrong with them. My daughter, Kaylee, was asleep beside me in the back seat, her tiny head resting on my thigh, her fingers curled around the edge of her pink stuffed bunny, the only thing in the world that hadn't betrayed her. She was 7 and small and quiet. I'd spent her whole life trying to protect her from the storm I'd grown up in. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. Out, my dad said, staring into the rearview mirror like I wasn't his blood. I blinked. What? My mom turned around in the front seat, sunglasses still on though the sun was almost gone. Out. Now. We're not dragging around your failures any longer. We gave you a ride because we pitied you. That pity ran out 20 miles ago. I didn't move. My dad opened his door and slammed it shut as he came around to mine. Either you get out, he growled, or I drag you out. Your choice. I hugged Kaylee instinctively. She's asleep. Don't. He yanked open the door. Cold air rushed in, and so did the silence, the kind that screamed louder than anything. I looked past him to my mom, still sitting in the passenger seat, now filing her nails like we were holding her up from something important. I don't have money for a cab, I said quietly. Then walk, my mom snapped. Walk with traffic. Maybe someone useful will replace you. He pulled Kaylee out first, still half asleep, still clutching that bunny like it would explain this someday. I scrambled after her. Wait, Dad, please. He shoved me hard. My knees hit gravel. My palms scraped the pavement. Kaylee whimpered. Then I watched as my sister, Mia, slid from the middle row into the now empty back seat I'd just been sitting in. She popped her gum and grinned out the window at me like she was being chauffeured to a fashion show. You know, she smirked, this car ride's better without dead weight. They drove off. No warning, no look back. Just red taillights disappearing into the dusk like they'd flushed me out of their lives like garbage. Kaylee's voice cracked beside me. Mommy, are we in trouble? I wrapped her in my arms, biting the inside of my cheek so I wouldn't cry. No, baby, we're just between destinations. I couldn't cry. Not yet. Not until I figured out how to get us off the highway. Not until I knew she was safe. I tried to flag a car. 1, 2, 4 passed us by like we were invisible. Or worse, not worth noticing. 1 even sped up like I was a danger to them. Kaylee started coughing. She was cold. Her sweater was thin. I took off my own hoodie and wrapped it around her. The asphalt was cooling fast, and the edge of the highway had no shoulder, no light, no help. I didn't have a phone. They'd smashed it 2 weeks earlier when I refused to loan them my tax refund. I hadn't even argued. I'd just gone quiet. That's how they trained me to survive. Silence. Kaylee tugged my sleeve. Mom, is Grandma gonna come back? I shook my head slowly. No, she thinks we'll figure it out. Her eyes searched mine. But we don't even know where we are. I know, I whispered. We walked. Me, barefoot now because my sandals were falling apart, and Kaylee with that bunny like it could still promise bedtime stories. I held her hand so tight I think I left marks. Eventually, a man in an old pickup truck pulled over. He didn't ask questions, just looked at Kaylee, then at me, then back at her. You need somewhere safe? He asked. I nodded. He let us sit in the bed of his truck, blankets, a thermos of lukewarm tea. I cried quietly while Kaylee sipped. When we got to the nearest town, he dropped us at a diner and gave me a 20. Get her something hot, he said. I got 2 daughters. Could have been them. I thanked him. I didn't ask his name. Maybe because I didn't want to tell him mine. I didn't want to carry shame into another conversation. We sat in that diner until sunrise. I watched Kaylee sleep across the booth. And that's when it hit me. Really hit me. I had spent my whole life begging people who despised me to love me, and now they'd tried to erase me, on a highway, in front of my child. But this wasn't going to end in tears. It was going to end with a lesson, a permanent one. And I was going to write it, with silence, with strategy, and with patience. Because when you raise someone in the dirt, sometimes they come back as the roots under your house and tear everything down from below. The diner owner, a quiet woman named Marlene in her 50s, noticed us on our second day there. Kaylee had grown pale from sleeping upright on the booth cushions, and I was trying to make a single muffin last through 2 meals. I didn't want to beg. I just needed time, a safe place, a pause to think. Marlene didn't ask questions. She simply sat across from me after the lunch rush and said, "You're not running, you're recovering. There's a difference." That line cracked something inside me. I hadn't heard a human voice speak with warmth in months. She gave me a dishwashing job in the back kitchen and told me I could use the old broom closet upstairs to sleep. She even found Kaylee some second-hand clothes and left them without a word. There were no speeches, just quiet dignity, the kind I'd never known from my own blood. I worked every hour I could. Kaylee went to a small local school thanks to a woman Marlene knew in the district. It wasn't much, but she came home smiling. I hadn't seen her smile in months. I didn't tell her about the revenge plan. But every evening after she fell asleep, I worked on it. See, my parents had made a fatal mistake. When they dumped us out of the car, they'd forgotten something important, or maybe never bothered to think it through. They pushed me out of their lives in the middle of a small state, but they lived on the internet. My dad ran a local podcast about financial leadership with a fake online persona and thousands of followers. My mom was a school board chair, beloved by parents for her charity work. My sister was a lifestyle influencer, cute vlogs, coffee cup poses, motivational quotes. Their lives, their public lives, were shiny, curated, false, and they'd never once thought I'd have the power to burn them down. But I did, because I'd kept something. 3 years ago, when I was still living under their roof trying to raise Kaylee in scraps of peace, I'd installed a baby monitor in her room. They didn't know it had cloud recording. They didn't know it sometimes picked up hallway audio, screams, fights, conversations about money, things that should never have been said around a child. I had years of footage, audio clips, dates, names, records of them laughing about cutting me off financially so I'd learn to crawl, conversations where my mom openly mocked disabled students at her school, audio of my sister bragging to her boyfriend that she manipulated charity funds to buy fake designer bags and use them in her content, all stored, unintentionally, in the cloud backup of that $30 baby monitor. And now, all of it was mine. For a month, I worked 2 jobs, slept 3 hours a night, and taught myself how to edit clips. I pieced together a quiet digital bomb. I created a TikTok and YouTube channel under a fake name. No face. Just captions, visuals, audio leaks, and blurred screenshots. Every upload started with the same sentence. What happens behind the filtered lives of the perfect family? I didn't tell my story directly. I let them reveal themselves in their own words. At first, nothing happened. A few dozen views, some shares, then 1 clip, a recording of my sister drunkenly laughing about buying followers and stealing her mom's speech for a PR award, blew up. 1 million views in 48 hours, then 2, then 5. People started digging, connecting dots, recognizing voices. Her own followers turned on her. Brands dropped sponsorships. The comment sections filled with betrayal. My mom, parents from her district started circulating the clips of her mocking students with learning disabilities. A petition formed, then a protest. By the time her next board meeting came, there were local news vans waiting outside. My dad? He tried to go on his podcast to clear the air, but someone hacked the intro and replaced it with a recording of him saying, "I'm not funding losers, even if they come from my wife." The silence after that clip aired live. That was the most satisfying thing I'd ever heard, and through it all, they never knew who was behind it, never connected it to me, because while they were scrambling to clean their image, I was rebuilding mine. Kaylee and I had moved into a tiny apartment above the diner. Marlene helped us with the first month's rent. A few strangers who had followed the clips online sent small donations with notes like, "I was you once. Stay strong." I found work doing freelance editing. I stayed off camera. But my voice? My voice reached millions now, and I never had to say my name because the truth had a louder echo than any revenge plot could ever design. But I wasn't done. Not yet. Because there was one final chapter left to write. And it was going to be personal. Very personal. 6 months after the first video went viral, I received an unexpected letter. It was from a lawyer. A class action was forming. Several families who had children in the school district were filing against the board and using the clips I'd uploaded as evidence. The lawyer asked if I would testify, anonymously if needed. My voice had become a symbol for those whose kids had been ignored, mocked, dismissed. I said yes. The trial was scheduled for May, but before that, I had something else to do. I hadn't spoken to my parents or sister since the highway. They didn't know I was alive and thriving. I'd been careful. My revenge was surgical, never emotional. I didn't want to scream at them. I wanted them to unravel on their own. But when the newspaper article dropped, things changed. Front page, board chair resigns amid leaked audio scandal. Right under it, a blurred screenshot of my mom. Eyes mid-blink, mouth curled in disdain. The headline mentioned her disturbing comments regarding special needs children. The subheadline mentioned ongoing investigations into misuse of school funds. 2 days later, a video surfaced of my sister crying on TikTok. She claimed she was betrayed by someone jealous of her success. She begged for forgiveness, said her words were taken out of context. Then she shut off comments. I could have let it end there. But I had one final gift, a reunion. I rented a small event space at a local park and sent out invitations with a fake PR name, Hope for Daughters, a charity launch celebrating mothers who uplift. I sent invites to my parents, to my sister, even to a few of their former friends and collaborators. I pretended it was an exclusive photo op. I knew they wouldn't resist. They'd been desperate to repair their image. They showed up, dressed to impress. My dad in a blazer 2 sizes too tight. My sister in white, like an angelic rebrand. My mother clinging to her pearls and fake composure. The room was quiet, dimly lit, only one screen at the front. When they entered, the door locked behind them with a soft click, and the screen turned on. It played a video, not clips this time, not leaked audio, just a home video, one I'd edited together. My daughter Kaylee, 5 years old at the time, sitting at a small plastic table, coloring. The timestamp in the corner showed it was from the week they kicked us out. In the video, she looked up at the camera and asked, "Mommy, do Grandma and Grandpa love me? Or only if I'm better than Sarah?" Silence. Then, my voice. They don't know how to love, but I do. And I always will. That was it. No insults, no rage. Just a memory they never bothered to make. A moment they discarded, now staring them in the face. The lights came up. I walked out from the side room with Kaylee holding my hand, tall now, confident. She didn't hide behind me. She looked straight at them and said, "You left me on the road, but I never needed you to find my way home." We walked past them. My mom's hand twitched like she wanted to speak, but no words came. My dad stared at the floor. My sister reached out and whispered, "Please, just let me explain." I didn't stop. Outside the door, a small crowd had gathered. Local press, former fans, people they'd fooled. As I passed the reporters, one asked, "Do you have anything to say to the people who did this to you?" I smiled gently and said, "They taught me what not to be. That's all." I never looked back. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.